I'm the first love of the domineering CEO. But I'm not a meek and submissive person. You can go on business trips abroad, but you can't come to see me abroad. Is it that you can't afford the air ticket or you can't spare the time? You keep saying that I'm your first love, but in the blink of an eye, you found a substitute. Your love is so cheap. Don't tell others that you used to like me in the future. I don't want a man who's been tainted. Don't come to me again in the future. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. On the plane back to the country, I had a dream. In the dream, I was the untouchable first love in Devon's heart. He was crazy about me, but he felt that he wasn't worthy of me and didn't dare to confess. He watched me go abroad with his own eyes, but he didn't have the courage to come and find me. Later, he met a girl who resembled me, and he forcefully made the girl become my substitute. He imposed all his delusions about me on the substitute. He enjoyed her beautiful body, but he also disliked that she was willing to be a substitute and suppressed her in various ways. That girl experienced misunderstandings, false accusations, a miscarriage, beatings, and many other things. Finally, she fled from Devon's side with a heart full of scars. At this time, Devon came to his senses and found that he liked the substitute. Instead, he hated me, his first love. He resented me for being hypocritical and a green tea person, which made him misunderstand the substitute again and again. He pulled me down from the pedestal and made my family fall apart as a form of atonement for the substitute. He successfully won the beauty's heart back. After waking up, I fell into deep thought. This is really hard to comment on. Whoever Devon likes, he will try to ruin that person and make them mentally break down. He thinks the mistakes are others, while he can have both a successful career and a beautiful woman. But why should it be like this? Therefore, at the welcome banquet held for me by everyone, I walked past Devon without looking sideways, sat indifferently opposite him, and ignored him. Devon's eyes were obviously hurt. His mouth opened and closed. But in the end, he didn't say a single word. Everyone present knew that Devon liked me, and they quickly enlivened the atmosphere. Devon still can't say a word when he sees Sister Anna. Sister Anna, do you think he hasn't changed at all? He's still the same as before. Devon visibly perked up and looked up at me, seemingly expecting what I would say. I searched through my memories, trying to figure out why exactly he regarded me as his first love. Was it because I played the violin at a music festival and became famous with one piece? Or was it because I defeated him in a debate competition? Or was it because I saved him from a cramp in his leg in the swimming pool? If he really developed a crush on me because of these trivial things and regarded me as his first love, that only shows one problem. Devon admires the strong and has no pity for the weak. He will admire those who are stronger than him extremely, and he will be cruel to those who are weaker than him. If that's the case, then his actions towards me and the substitute in the dream can be explained. Having figured this out, I relaxed my expression and smiled gently. I haven't seen you for a few years, and I've already forgotten what Devon looked like before. Hey, tell me about yourselves. What have you been busy with these years? What are you doing? I diverted the topic away from Devon and chatted and laughed with everyone. Everyone could see that I had no interest in Devon. The hopeful look in Devon's eyes dimmed. Just then, the door rang. A girl stood timidly at the door. Her eyes accurately found Devon, and her lips quivered, but she didn't speak for a long time. I glanced at her and was stunned by her beauty. So, this was that substitute. We really looked like twins. So, is this how good-looking I am in the eyes of others? The girl had slightly curly hair, which was long and natural without being permed or dyed. Her eyes were dark and bright, like black jade dotted in a clear spring. Her nose was small, and her lips were slightly pursed. It must feel great to kiss her. Unexpectedly, although Devon has a bad character, he has a good taste. Someone immediately pulled the girl in and made her sit next to Devon. Devon frowned slightly and distanced himself from the girl as if she were a virus. The girl's eyes were slightly red, but she endured it and showed a proper smile. However, the disdain in everyone's eyes was so obvious. She was like a little sheep that had strayed into a wolf pack, and she was still trying hard to be friendly. The girl who pulled her in was named Kate, who had always had a crush on Devon. She chuckled and proudly swirled her wine glass. Jamie, Mr. Devon treats you so well. He even brought you out to see the world. Look, Anna, Sister Anna, This is a real young lady from a wealthy family. Hey, look closely. You two really look alike. Mr. Devon, didn't you find a substitute based on Sister Anna's appearance? Everyone understood immediately. One was the genuine article, and the other was a knockoff. It was obvious who the substitute was. Jamie's face turned pale, and she was so embarrassed that tears welled up in her eyes. She tried hard to open her eyes wide, afraid that the tears would fall, and there was a hint of panic in Devon's eyes. His gaze was fixed on me, as if he was ready to explain and soothe me at any moment. Everyone made jokes and blamed Kate for speaking out of turn. Kate smiled and punished herself by drinking 3 glasses of wine. It's all my fault. I'm drunk without even drinking. In the midst of the commotion, I coldly picked up a glass, loosened my hand, and the glass fell to the ground, making a clear cracking sound. Everyone was taken aback and looked at me. I looked at Devon and said calmly, "Devon, explain. What does this mean?" Devon was stunned, probably in his whole life. He had never expected that the first sentence I said to him after returning to the country would be this. He frowned slightly and said sincerely, "I'm sorry, Anna. I'll make her leave right away." He immediately said to Jamie, "Get out. You're not qualified to be here." Jamie's face turned deathly pale. She clutched her small bag, and her thin and white fingers were almost squeezing the bones out of her skin. She was clearly so angry, but she was so obedient that she didn't dare to refute a single word. Me? What was going on? I clearly wanted him to explain what was going on with Kate. How dare she so blatantly mock his girlfriend? I suspected that he had an affair with Kate. Or was he blind? Couldn't he see that she was so obviously using someone else to do her dirty work? Seeing that Jamie was about to leave, I said, "Wait. Miss Jamie is my guest. No one has the right to drive her away. Devon, please explain what your relationship with Miss Jamie is. Why you want to drive away my guest. And also, what does it mean that Kate said you found a substitute based on my appearance?" Jamie was stunned. She probably didn't expect that a stranger like me would stand up for her. I have to say, she looked quite cute when she was in a daze. I nodded at her, motioning for her to sit beside me. She thought for a while and obediently came over. Devon's face turned cold, and there was a storm in his deep eyes. This was very intimidating to Jamie. I could clearly feel that Jamie was nervous. But to me, it was nothing. I crossed my arms and watched him leisurely. Seeing that he couldn't say a word, I became a bit impatient. I hate the kind of domineering CEO whose mouth seems to be sewn shut the most. I looked coldly at Kate. "You tell me. If you can't explain it clearly, the cooperation between our two families can be terminated." "How can you do this? What does it have to do with me?" Kate exclaimed. "Yeah, what does it have to do with you? You're the most talkative one at this table." I smiled faintly. Kate fell silent. She secretly glanced at Devon and found that he didn't seem to object either. So she said lazily, "It's just that our little Mr. Devon couldn't get his first love, so he secretly found a female college student as a substitute. Now that the real person is back, little Mr. Devon hasn't figured out how to deal with this substitute yet. Does that mean the first love is me?" Kate didn't say anything. Devon looked at me steadily with his dark eyes and finally said that one word. "Yes. You like me?" "Yes." I laughed. Out of anger, I casually picked up a glass of wine on the table and splashed it towards Devon. "Has the Egbert family gone bankrupt? You can go on business trips abroad, but you can't come to see me abroad. Is it that you can't afford the air ticket or you can't spare the time? You keep saying that I'm your first love, but in the blink of an eye, you found a substitute. Your love is so cheap. Don't tell others that you used to like me in the future. I don't want a man who's been tainted. Don't come to me again in the future." The wine dripped down from his face. He had a good-looking appearance, even in such an embarrassing state. He looked somewhat alluring in an abstinent way. He had a gloomy expression. His gaze was deep. His cheeks were red with anger, and his fingers were tightly clenched as he tried his best to control his emotions. So, he could also feel embarrassed when being insulted. I thought he was born without emotions. The others were stunned. The entire private room fell silent, and countless people looked at me in surprise. Over the few years abroad, we had all changed. I pulled Jamie and left the private room in big strides. I didn't care what kind of chaos was going on behind me. I sent Jamie to her school. Jamie got out of the car, trembling. I didn't know if it was because the wind was too cold or she was too nervous. She probably had never thought in her life that a woman would splash wine on Devon. She had been in a trance the whole time in the car. I took off my coat and draped it over her. I casually took her phone, unlocked the password with her finger, and made her add me as a friend. I don't know why you agreed to Devon's request to be a substitute, but today I splashed Devon with wine. He doesn't dare to cause trouble for me, but he's likely to take his anger out on you. If he gives you trouble, remember to contact me. Anna. Why did you help me? You misunderstand. I'm not helping you. I would have helped any girl who appeared in that situation today. Without my coat. It was too cold. I got into the car and drove away quickly. The car drove a long way, and I could still see Jamie standing there, staring blankly in the direction I had left. I started interning in my own family's company. To be honest, I don't quite believe it. Even if Devon is powerful, it's not that easy for the Francis family, which has stood firm for decades, survived the economic crisis, material crisis, commercial price wars, and many other dangerous situations, to go bankrupt all of a sudden, unless there were problems within the Francis family itself, and the Egbert family caught the evidence and then took the opportunity to gradually erode it. After I entered the company, I worked incognito in various departments for a while, recording all the problems I found one by one. Then, one afternoon, I joined the company as the eldest daughter of the Francis family. I resolutely solved all the problems I had found one by one. I fired those who should be fired, promoted those who should be promoted, and admonished those who needed to be admonished. Only after stabilizing the company could I spare the time to pay attention to Jamie and Devon. I deleted Devon from my contacts. I couldn't see anything from Jamie's Instagram, apart from forwarding a few articles from official accounts. There was no personal sharing at all. Instead, Kate called me and gloated. Anna, Devon is getting engaged in a while. Do you know that? He said he couldn't get in touch with you and asked me to invite you to his engagement banquet. I couldn't help raising my eyebrows. Huh. This was interesting. With whom? Jamie. Of course. Who else could it be? Since he can't catch up with his first love, can't he use the substitute to satisfy himself? Kate, why do you have such great malice towards her? Even if you can't have something and want to destroy it, you should want to destroy and hate Devon, not engage in female competition against Jamie. This kind of behavior is really low level. Damn it. Are you crazy? Anna, we grew up together, and we've had so many years of friendship. You're saying this to me because of a substitute. My head hurt a bit. After not seeing each other for a few years, I found that our values were completely different. I took a deep breath and said calmly, Kate, when I went abroad back then, partly because I wanted to study abroad, and partly because I could see that you liked Devon, so I took the initiative to avoid suspicion. If I had engaged in female competition with you, you wouldn't have been able to compete with me. Devon treating Jamie as a substitute shows that he has low moral qualities, no integrity, and is shameless and despicable. He has the mentality of a capitalist who thinks he can do whatever he wants with money. You liking such a scumbag only lowers your own standards. Being liked by him is a misfortune. There's nothing to be proud of about being liked by a scumbag. If the world divides people into classes according to money and believes that those without money have no dignity, then we wealthy people like you and me are also just undignified playthings in the face of real power and wealth. This kind of thinking is seriously wrong. I remember that in college. You were a girl with very correct values. I don't know what you've been through to become like this, but I can tell you clearly that if you continue like this, we won't even be able to be friends. Also, tell Devon that I will attend the engagement banquet, but not as his friend, but as Jamie's friend. That's all. After hanging up the phone, I let out a long sigh. I couldn't help opening WeChat and asking Jamie, "Are you getting engaged?" The chat window with Jamie showed that the other party was typing. However, after a long time, she still didn't say anything. Goodness. I finally understood why she had been physically and mentally abused by Devon. A domineering CEO who is scheming and used to shifting the blame. A person who doesn't know how to explain things. It would be a miracle if they could make things clear. I said simply and straightforwardly, "Let's meet and talk. I'll go to the gate of your school to find you." Jamie quickly replied with a, "Okay." I slightly raised my eyebrows. She has a passive personality. Right. She's used to being arranged by others. Right. Then I'll arrange everything for you clearly today. I drove her to have a meal first. During the meal, she tried to explain things clearly, but I interrupted her. Let's talk after the meal. She immediately agreed and ate quietly. She really didn't say another word. After the meal, I took her to meet a client. She didn't object either. She obediently followed and automatically took on the role of my secretary. She served tea, poured water, and fetched pens and documents. After I saw off the client, I took her to meet my friends. The moment she saw my friends, her always gentle and submissive face finally showed a bit of a crack. And the one who lost her composure before her was Kate. Kate looked completely shocked. Anna, what do you mean? You asked me out for a meal. What are you doing bringing her along? Jamie's face turned bright red with embarrassment, and she said in a small, urgent voice, Sister Anna, I'll go back first. I don't want to disturb you. I sent your coat to the dry cleaner and left it in your car. Thank you for taking me out to have fun today. I'll go now. Me? Is her time worthless? I've taken up a whole day of her time by bringing her out today. And she didn't dare to say a word. She even thanked me. She's so easy to bully that I can't help but want to pick on her a bit. I said indifferently, since you're already here, let's have fun together. It seems that there's some misunderstanding between you two, and it's just right to clarify it today. Without giving them a chance to argue, I walked in first. Kate gave Jamie a disdainful look, quickly came over and took my arm to show our closeness, and at the same time, isolate Jamie. Jamie was clearly extremely embarrassed, but she still bravely came in. She's so obedient that it makes people want to be mean to her because you can predict that there will be no cost in bullying her. I couldn't help but wonder what kind of family would discipline a girl to be so easy to bully. During the meal, Kate talked a lot. However, every time she went to pick up some food, I would turn the lazy Susan. When she reached for a tissue, I would reach out and take it first. When her glass was empty, I clinked glasses with Jamie. Finally, Kate realized that I was isolating her. She slapped the table and said, Anna, what do you mean? If you want to break off our friendship, just say it directly. Why are you being so disgusting to me? You're being too sensitive, aren't you? Don't care about these little details. I just turned the lazy Susan, blocked you from getting the tissue, and didn't clink glasses with you. Don't be so petty. You're deliberately targeting me. Don't think I can't see that you're suppressing me and taking revenge for her. Are you crazy? We've known each other for so many years, and you're treating me like this for someone you've only known for a few days. You like Devin, so you suppress Jamie. Well, I like Jamie, so I suppress you. There's nothing wrong with that. Right, isn't that what I learned from you? Kate was so angry that she held back for a long time and finally blurted out a swear word. She picked up her small bag and turned to leave. I said indifferently, wait, first, find out why she's getting married to Devin. Sure enough, Kate was held back. She came back angrily, threw her small bag aside, and her whole body showed her unhappiness. Now the pressure was on Jamie, facing our imposing gazes. She was almost scared to tears. I didn't want to marry him. Kate exploded completely. Jamie, you're playing me. Everyone in the world knows that you two are going to get engaged. And now you're saying you didn't want to marry him. Are you showing off in front of me? Do you think I won't hit you? Jamie covered her face and started crying. But I haven't even been in a relationship with him. Kate was shocked. I was also shocked. However, I believed Jamie's words because someone like Devin, who admires the strong, would disdain to be in a relationship with a weak person. At most, he regarded Jamie as a pet. He could order her around, tame her, control her, and spoil her. He would never give her the respect, understanding, support, and trust that a lover deserves. I handed her a tissue and said, tell us about it. Jamie didn't know where to start, so I asked the questions and she answered, how did you two meet? Jamie blushed and said, his company gave a presentation at our school, and I was in charge of the reception. Kate was furious. So you had the nerve to ask for his contact information? No, he asked for mine, and I didn't give it to him. You're making it sound so nice. In the end, you still added him, didn't you? I met someone who was pestering me, and he saved me. The hero saves the beauty. Kate was extremely jealous, and her words were full of sarcasm. This plot is quite melodramatic. However, combined with the dream I had, in which Devon forcefully took Jamie for himself. I suspected that this hero saves the beauty scenario was arranged by Devon himself. I looked at Kate and said, Devon used to like me. Why weren't you this jealous of me? Why are you so jealous of Jamie? Kate was furious. How can she compare to you? I'm convinced that I lost to you. But what is she? Apart from having a face that looks like yours, in what other way can she compare to you? I was also angry. You know I'm excellent. And I know I'm excellent. That scumbag Devon doesn't deserve someone as excellent as me. I won't allow you to insult me with such a scumbag. Kate was a bit stunned. What's wrong with Devon? He's the most outstanding guy I know. He was able to manage the company well as soon as he graduated. He's good-looking and capable. How doesn't he deserve you? I retorted loudly. He keeps saying that he likes me. You know it. Others know it. But I don't. He's never done anything to pursue me. He's never confessed his feelings to me verbally. And he's never given me any gifts on any festivals. I was abroad for 3 years. And he never came to see me. He just talks but doesn't act. He even made everyone think that I looked down on him and didn't accept him, making it seem like it was my fault. Now when I attend your gatherings, people look at me with the eyes of a heartless person. But what did I do wrong? On one hand, he's ruining my reputation. And on the other hand, he got a substitute who looks exactly like me to disgust me. He deliberately brought Jamie to my welcome banquet and bossed Jamie around. What's the deal? Is he unable to command me? So he's seeking the pleasure of conquering me through the substitute. Why does such a person, who says one thing and does another, has bad morals, low quality, and a despicable character, have the right to like me? Why do you like him? Being liked by him is the greatest shame of my life. Besides, he inherited the company from his parents. The talents in the company were cultivated by his parents. After he took over, it happened to be in a favorable situation. So the company made a profit. He was just lucky. It doesn't mean he's really capable. If you were given such a company, you could also make money. The reason you didn't get it isn't because you're not capable, but because your parents are patriarchal and only see you as an object for marriage and family alliance. It doesn't mean you're not good enough. Kate was completely silenced by my scolding. She looked dazed and murmured, I didn't know it was like this. I thought he had done a lot for you. He didn't do anything at all. That bastard Devon only used his mouth and didn't put in any effort. I was a bit tired from scolding people. I took a sip of tea and continued to put the pressure on Jamie. It's your turn. What has Devon done for you? Did he confess to you? Did he officially confirm the relationship with you? Did he introduce you to his parents? Did he introduce you to his friends? Did he make an official announcement? Did he give you gifts to express his love? I asked one question after another, and Jamie answered, no. Each time. There were several no s in a row. She probably felt ashamed, and her eyes were as red as a rabbit's. Finally, she covered her face and cried, saying no. Kate was angry when she heard this. He didn't do anything, and you just casually agreed to marry him. Are you crazy? Jamie was so scared that tears streamed down her face. My father was in the hospital, and he paid the $100,000 in hospitalization fees for me. Kate, me? For a moment, the three of us looked at each other in surprise. Finally, Kate pounded her bag hard. $100,000 is just enough for me to buy a bag. And it bought out your whole life. Why are you so cowardly? I'll give you $100,000. And you go and slap him in the face. I don't dare. Under our questioning, Jamie honestly confessed everything about her and Devon. That $100,000 really bought her out. She had the intention of repaying Devon's kindness, and Devon really treated her like a nanny, a servant, and a concubine to warm his bed. When she didn't have classes, she would go to clean Devon's house, serve tea and water, cook, and wash the pots. Later, even when she was in class, Devon would call and ask her why she hadn't cleaned the house properly. She had to skip class to go and cook for Devon and take care of him. Once, Devon was drunk and pushed her down on the sofa, and she lost her virginity in a confused state. Afterwards, Devon had a cold expression and warned her, "Don't let anyone know about our relationship." However, it was also him who called Jamie over to have a meal with his friends. She was offered a toast and didn't dare to refuse. After getting drunk, Devon asked her if she would drink any toast offered to her. Then he tormented her all night. She also had a miscarriage because Devin didn't want the baby and even asked her why she didn't use contraception. Now they were going to get engaged because Devin wanted to and just informed her about it. Kate was so angry that her head hurt. Just let him bully you like this. Where are your parents? Do they agree? Don't they care? My father said that we should be grateful and repay kindness. Since we took his money, we should follow his arrangements and not let others think that we're ungrateful. Jamie looked confused, as if she didn't think her father was wrong. But she couldn't figure out where the problem was either. Kate was completely silenced. But I felt that I had gained a lot. At least, Kate had a little bit of empathy for Jamie. I patted her on the shoulder and said, "Her father is just like yours. They both treat marrying off their daughters as a career." The two of them felt my sarcasm and looked at me together. Kate's eyes looked at me with a hint of hostility. Jamie looked at me with confusion and sadness. I looked at Jamie and moved on to the next topic. "I took you out for a whole day today. How do you feel?" Jamie was a bit stunned. She probably didn't expect that after running around with me for a day, she would still have to talk about her feelings and experiences. She said gratefully, "Sister Anna, thank you for taking me out to see the world. This is something I've never seen before." From this perspective, she was right. A Cinderella was suddenly forcefully brought into a golden palace and felt that she had gained some knowledge and broadened her horizons. But this is just a superficial thing. It's not like that on a deeper level. I smiled. "But what's the use of all this for you? You should have had several classes today." "Right. Did you skip them? You'll probably be marked absent by the teacher. You've already skipped a lot of classes for Devin before. If you keep skipping classes now, will you be able to get enough credits? Can you graduate smoothly? You're sacrificing your studies and your future to have a meal with me. And I even made you work for free for a whole day. In the end, you still have to thank me. For me, I don't lose anything. But what do you get out of it? The things I showed you today, you'll be able to experience them in the future when you have the ability. I just let you see them a few years earlier. But today, because you gave up your future to see these things in advance, you might never be able to experience them in your life. From this perspective, you've lost out. Also, when I took you to have a meal, you clearly didn't like Western food. But you didn't say anything. If you keep swallowing your anger like this, I won't be grateful to you or understand you. Instead, I'll think you're easy to bully. And I'll bully you again next time because there's no cost in bullying you. And you'll even be extremely grateful to me. So why wouldn't I do it? I'm considered a person with high moral qualities and correct values in our circle. I have these thoughts. But I'll restrain myself. But once you meet someone who doesn't restrain themselves, you'll know what your fate will be. You'll be used up completely. And the other person will even shift the blame onto you, making you think it's all your fault. Today, when I went to meet the client and negotiate the business, I could earn several $1,000,000 from that contract. But I didn't give you a single penny. You served tea and water, fetched materials, forced a smile, and stood around with me for a whole day. You might think you've gained some experience, but have you seen the waiter at the door? He gains experience here every day. But it doesn't stop him from remaining the same. If you don't spend your time and energy on things that can improve yourself, you'll be stuck in this position for the rest of your life. And when we met Kate, you clearly didn't like it. But you didn't even have the courage to stick to your own thoughts. Someone who is just a little bit stronger than you can easily manipulate you. Kate and I are just acquaintances to you. We didn't even threaten or tempt you. Just by staring at you, you told us everything about you and Devin. This is very dangerous for you. You're as obedient as a rabbit. Kate and I are at most large herbivores, and we won't do anything to you. But Devin is a carnivorous bastard. He'll eat you up without leaving a trace and still hate that you don't have enough meat to fill his stomach. With your ability to withstand pressure, how dare you get engaged to Devin? Do you know Devin's family situation? Do you know who the people in his family are? Do you know that no matter how hard you try, they will never accept you? Wasn't it just like that in the dream? She worked hard and tirelessly like a magpie girl. But in the end, she ended up with a sad fate. It was Devin who enjoyed her efforts and sacrifices and finally got the image of a loving person. When it came to the Egbert family, Kate became excited. Let me tell you, Devin's mother is very snobbish. In high school, the Egbert family invited us to Devin's birthday party. Only 2 people in the whole class didn't receive the invitation. One of those 2 people's family had just gone bankrupt. and the other was a poor student recruited by the school on special terms. Devin also has a sister. His sister was married into a wealthy family through a family-arranged marriage. His sister was subjected to domestic violence, but his parents refused to let their daughter get a divorce. It's just because the other family is richer than theirs. Your family is poor. If you really marry Devin, you'll just be upgraded from Devin's personal nanny to the nanny for the entire Egbert family. They don't even care about their own daughter. So how could they care about someone else's daughter? Kate looked triumphant as she saw Jamie's pale face, and I looked at her with an expression as if looking at a fool. Kate couldn't smile anymore. This kind of rotten family. Even a dog wouldn't want to be part of it. Why on earth did I like Devin? It's not entirely your fault. You liked the Devin in your imagination. He met your expectations of a man. He's rich, good-looking, charming, and even a bit pitiful because he couldn't get his first love, which stirred up your maternal love. I analyzed seriously. But in reality, Devin can't live up to your expectations. He's selfish, ignores and bullies the weak, regards women as playthings, and tramples on women's dignity to seek and strengthen his own male dignity. Do you know what this is called? What? Kate and Jamie asked in unison. The misogyny of a lecherous man, I said casually. This sentence silenced both of them. I asked Jamie again. You know Devin clearly likes me. But why didn't he pursue me? Jamie stammered. Why? I stared at her with a serious expression. Because I'm rich, good-looking, and charming. My parents see me as the heir of our family. Even if something happens to me, they will do their best to protect me, even if it means going bankrupt. From this perspective, I'm better and stronger than Devin. He can't show his sense of superiority in front of me, nor can he gain male self-esteem from me. So, he found you. Because you're poor, weak, and easy to bully, with no family protection. Your parents, in order to curry favor with him, would even send you to his bed with their own hands. Ultimately, Jamie, you're too weak. You have no way out in this world. And you're also too casual with yourself. You have no goals, no plans, just drifting with the tide. And you haven't even thought about making yourself strong enough to protect yourself. Who else would he bully if not you? After all, even someone like me, with correct values and a strong sense of morality, can't help but want to bully you a bit. Someone like him would be like a cat seeing meat. He won't stop until he plays with you to the extreme. In the dream, Jamie died. Devin began to regret it. Then, he tried to find a way to kill me. He stood alone at the peak, aloof from the world. Why does he get all the good things? I won't allow it. Now I not only want to ruin his career but also upset his plans. He won't have an easy time. Jamie went back in a trance. After seeing her off, Kate and I walked for a while. Kate awkwardly apologized to me. Sorry. I didn't expect that Devin could be such a jerk. I was really blind to have liked such a man. It's truly a shame of my life. Then post an apology to me on Instagram. Anna. Don't go too far. Then forget it. You guys made me lose my reputation in the circle. And I was misunderstood by everyone. I didn't even have any luck in love. I guess I'm just unlucky. Why did I have a friend like you? Stop talking. I'll apologize. She immediately edited an Instagram post in front of me. Today, I officially apologize to Anna. I shouldn't have misunderstood you. And I deeply regret it. I hope you can forgive me. I also hope that you will make a fortune in the future. Have great luck. And everything will go smoothly for you for the rest of your life. In addition, I also want to apologize to myself. I regret having liked someone out of blindness. Liking him is a shame of my life. Finally, I want to strongly condemn someone. He keeps saying that someone is his first love, making all of us think that he's extremely affectionate. But what's the result? He never confessed to that person, never formally pursued her, and didn't even spend the money on an airplane ticket to go abroad to see her. However, he made everyone know that he likes her. On one hand, he made us think that he was deeply in love and unrepentant. On the other hand, he was having a great time, finding a substitute and even abusing the substitute. He thought he could buy out the substitute's whole life with $100,000. It really makes me laugh. If $100,000 is so valuable, would you, scumbag, be willing to lick my shoes for that amount of money? Such a disgusting person doesn't deserve to be in my contact list. I've already deleted him. Those who know who I'm talking about. For those who don't know, Please ask those who know to explain. Such a dirty person. Don't come out to cause trouble anymore. Fortunately, I've cured my blindness and won't be blind anymore. Thank you, Anna, for saving me. TSK. This article is really incisive. She's indeed a proud little princess. I immediately gave it a like. Our mutual friends also successively gave a lot of likes and comments. Many people even came to ask me specifically if it was true. I wasn't bothered and replied one by one that it was true. Everyone was amazed again, saying that they really didn't expect it. They thought Devin had really done a lot for me. But it turned out that it was just that guy's self-indulgence, making me bear the blame for nothing. Yeah, if Devin had confessed, I could have directly refused him, but he didn't even confess. Yet he made everyone misunderstand me like this, thinking that I was leading him on. He also called Jamie to the welcome banquet and bossed Jamie around to disgust me. Does he expect me to be jealous when I see Jamie and engage in female competition with Jamie for him? Or does he think I'll feel a sense of pleasure when I see someone who looks exactly like me being bullied? People like him who ignore others and trample on women are not even worth dating. He doesn't deserve to like me. Devin's reputation in our circle was ruined. The more affectionate he had seemed in front of others before, the more despicable he seemed now. His friend called and said that Devin wanted to talk to me. After all, we've known each other for so many years. Even if he did something wrong, it's because he likes you. You don't have to condemn him to death, do you? It should be enough for him to apologize to you. Besides, he's about to get engaged, which means he's given up on you. We'll still run into each other in the future. We should at least save some face. Right. Does he want to ruin my reputation just because he likes me? Does he want to insult Jamie just because he likes her? Is he really that vicious? I cleared my throat and enunciated clearly, asking him to pass on a message. Please tell Devin that this matter ends here. It's fine if we never have anything to do with each other again. If he causes more trouble, I'm not someone to be pushed around. He can give it a try. In the end, Devin didn't dare to act recklessly. I heard that he added a betrothal gift of $30 million for Jamie and made this matter public to save face. However, Jamie called off the engagement. Jamie borrowed $100,000 from me, returned the money to Devin, blocked Devin, and stayed in the school without coming out, focusing on her studies. Her father was reluctant to let go of Devin as a son-in-law and cursed Jamie for not knowing how to enjoy the good life, saying that she couldn't even grasp the great wealth that came her way. He came to the school in person and forced Jamie to drop out of school and get married. Jamie went crazy. She held a knife to her face and rebelled against her father. Do you know what Devin takes me for? A substitute. Just because my face looks like someone else's. He helped me. Without this face, I'm nothing. If you want to marry Devin, you can get a plastic surgery to look like me, and Devin will still marry you. If you force me again, I'll scratch my face and borrow a usurious loan of $10 million. I'll make sure you'll never enjoy the benefits from me in this life and can only suffer because of me. The school was frightened, forced her father to leave, and took turns to talk to Jamie, telling her not to do anything stupid. They also said that now it's a society ruled by law, and no one can force a woman to get married against her will. If necessary, the school will provide legal aid. Jamie decisively accepted the legal aid and prepared to sue Devin for money. She had worked conscientiously as Devin's nanny for 3 years, but Devin didn't give her a single penny. She felt that she had suffered a great loss. When I heard the news, I was overjoyed. Kate was also extremely happy. She said that she hadn't seen Devin in such a mess for a long time. You don't know. The last time I attended a banquet, I saw him arguing with his mother in private. When he saw me, his face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. His mother specifically came out to be friendly with me and asked me when I would visit their home. His mother used to be so snobbish, thinking that her son was the best in the world and looking down on everyone. But now her son's reputation is ruined, and he's being laughed at and despised. She's trying so hard to please me. Do I look like a cheap person? She's dumping all this garbage on me. Devin's mother also called me, but it was to argue for Devin and slander me by the way. I recorded the call on my phone and asked someone to send the recording to Devin. Then they settled down and never harassed me again. However, the friend I asked to pass on the message also broke off his friendship with Devin after hearing that recording. People really can't escape the consequences of their own actions. Kate was in high spirits. Her son is really a burden on her now. It will probably be difficult for him to get married into a wealthy family in the future. Am I a bit mean? Why do I want to laugh so much? Don't be too hard on yourself. Laugh when you want to. Laugh more and good luck will come. Anna. Why didn't I realize before that you're also suitable to be a fortune teller? Blaming everything and everyone except myself for being bad. I really like you so much. Jamie also likes me. I helped her with the lawsuit. And she successfully got nearly $300,000 in wages from Devin. She returned the $100,000 to me and bought me a gift. We met in a coffee shop. She looked energetic, and there was a vibrant vitality about her, which was completely different from the timid and trembling appearance she had a few months ago. Sure enough, Devin was a bad influence on her. After staying away from Devin and even opposing him, her spirit came back immediately. I'm the same. Now my career is booming. And my parents are already thinking of retiring early and handing the company over to me. Jamie smiled and said, I never dreamed that I could get back nearly $300,000 in wages. I used to look down on myself so much. I thought $100,000 was an astronomical figure and a favor that I could never repay in my life. But I can earn $300,000 on my own through my hard work. I thought I was working hard and enduring hardship to repay his kindness. But in fact, he didn't even treat me as a human being. Instead, he thought I was very convenient to use. It's quite funny. When I gave without complaint, he looked down on me. But when I asked him for money and chased after the debt, he talked to me nicely and asked me not to make a fuss. Human nature is really evil. She had a lot of feelings. And I listened carefully and raised my glass to congratulate her. Congratulations. You've overcome the big hurdle at the age of 20. And everything will go smoothly for you from now on. She held the cup with both hands and seriously toasted me. Sister Anna, thank you. You're my benefactor. If I hadn't met you, I would have ended up in a really miserable situation. My parents don't love me, but I expected others to love me and tried to find my self-worth from others. That's like putting myself under someone else's knife and expecting the other person to be slower when they strike. It's really pitiful. Fortunately, you woke me up. From now on, I also want to follow your example and be an independent and self-loving person. I toast you. I raised my glass and took a sip of coffee, then asked her what her plans were for the future. She was about to graduate and was now looking for an internship. I asked her to work with me as my secretary. Jamie was overjoyed. Sister Anna, can I do a good job? I smiled but didn't say anything. Jamie quickly realized and said, Sister Anna, I will definitely work hard. If there's anything I do wrong, please give me more guidance. I will definitely listen to your advice. I asked someone to show Jamie the ropes. I thought that if this story were to have Jamie as the female lead, then she must have something special about her. Taking her under my wing wouldn't be a loss in any way. Sure enough, Jamie didn't let me down. She had some talent in her head. Soon, she successfully became a member of my secretary team and became the most outstanding one among them. With her around, I felt that things were going much more smoothly. But things weren't going so well for Devin. I heard that Devin's sister was preparing to divorce her husband, and the Edbert family was being obstructed by the other side, and they were in a bit of a mess. And Devin's parents were on the side of their son-in-law, persuading their daughter to give up the divorce for the sake of the children, and the whole family was in chaos. I met Devin at a business conference. He looked much paler and less energetic. Our eyes met briefly, and then we looked away from each other. After the meeting, he stopped me. There's been some misunderstanding between us, and I want to talk to you about it. Jamie immediately stepped in front of me. Mr. Devin, if you want to see Ms. Anna, you need to make an appointment with me. Jamie. Devin finally took a good look at Jamie and was greatly shocked. During this period, Jamie had changed a great deal. She radiated charm from within, showing her unique charisma. Even when we stood together, no one would mistake her for me. She said neither humbly nor arrogantly, Yes, Mr. Devin, if you want to see Ms. Anna, you need to make an appointment in advance. Ms. Anna will meet you if she has time. Devin was taken aback. With a sullen face, he didn't respond to her words. Instead, he said to me, It won't take more than a few minutes of my time. He still looked down on Jamie. After all, Jamie used to be a woman he had conquered and played with. It was impossible for him to respect her all of a sudden. But I wasn't going to indulge him. I said indifferently, "Make an appointment with Secretary Jamie." I turned around and left without a second thought. Devin was angry. "Anna, I only made a mistake once. Are you really that vengeful?" Me. "Look, you can never wake up someone who is pretending to be asleep." He just wanted to provoke me so that I would respond to him immediately. He was daydreaming. I ignored him as if he were the air and walked away nonchalantly. He had no choice but to talk to Jamie. Jamie looked at her watch, picked up the documents, followed behind me, and casually made a phone call. "Ms. Anna is done here. Bring the car to the entrance." "Yes. The schedule later is very tight." Devin left angrily. In the car, Jamie couldn't help laughing. "Sister Anna, the way he's raging out of impotence is really hilarious." "I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. But I can't help it." "Laugh when you want to. Holding it in will be bad for your mental state." We laughed heartily together, and tears flew out. But it was strange that things went especially smoothly that day, and the deal was successfully signed. Looking back on it later, he probably knew that I was going to sign the deal and deliberately came to help with the business performance. Thank you. To him. After a month, I didn't see Devin, but I met Devin's sister, Margaret. First, she came to my door, wearing a headscarf and sunglasses, and was even more heavily wrapped up than a female celebrity. I originally wanted to refuse to see any member of the Egbert family, but after she took off her sunglasses, I couldn't say the words of refusal. The eyes under her sunglasses were bruised and purple, and her eyes were dull, full of despair and numbness. I thought that if I refused her, it might be the last straw that pushed her to death. I invited her in, and Jamie served tea. She took off her headscarf and mask, revealing all her wounds. Jamie and I were both shocked. She smiled self-deprecatingly. "I know my behavior of coming to you like this is despicable, but I'm really at the end of my rope. My daughter is only 3 years old. For her sake, I can only be despicable once. Have some water and take your time to tell me. Please help me persuade Devin to convince my parents to agree to my divorce. If your parents don't agree, you can still get a divorce on your own. My husband refuses to give me custody of May. He won't give it to me even if I leave the marriage with nothing, unless my parents can help me. But now my parents took his money to turn around the company for Devin. If May stays with them, she won't have a chance to live." I knew a bit about the affairs of the Egbert family. It wasn't a secret that Margaret was subjected to domestic violence, but the Egbert family had received benefits, so no one stood up for her. At most, they asked Margaret's husband not to hit her in the face when beating her, to save some face. Now, because Margaret wanted to get a divorce, the other side probably didn't care about face anymore and directly showed the Egbert family their true colors by hitting her in the face. It was ridiculous that the Egbert family endured it for the sake of money. Well, it's not them being beaten after all, but I remember that in the dream, there didn't seem to be anything about Margaret getting a divorce. She had always been that young mistress of a wealthy family. On the surface, she seemed glamorous, but in fact, she was kneeling down to wash her mother-in-law's feet behind the scenes. "Why did you decide to get a divorce?" Margaret was confused for a moment. Very much like Jamie in the past, I suddenly wanted to change. I just felt that I shouldn't live like this. I'm the one who has suffered losses in this marriage, while my parents and Devin are the ones who have benefited. There's no such good thing in the world. Well said. Just for this, I will definitely help. But why would Devin listen to me? You know that we're on very bad terms now, to the extent that we'll never have anything to do with each other. If he knows that I'm helping you, he might even oppose you more. He has a diary that's full of you. I think he'll listen to you. If he doesn't, I'll think of other ways. Since that's the case, then let's give it a try. But I won't take the initiative to see Devin. That would make me seem cheap, and then he would become arrogant again. I found out that Devin would attend a dinner party. I also showed up there and specifically asked to be seated at a table next to Devin's. He would definitely be anxious when he saw me chatting and laughing with others but couldn't approach me. Sure enough, he stopped me again and cleverly asked his secretary to hold Jamie back. He knew how to forcefully take and seize, but I don't know if he has memorized the criminal law. I nodded at Jamie, indicating that she should be patient, and then found a quiet place to sit down and talk to Devin. Devin seemed to have gained a bit of the initiative and said indifferently, "It's really difficult to meet you. I said to make an appointment with my secretary. It's Mr. Devin, who couldn't bring himself to do it. This is your own problem. What exactly did I do to offend you? Apart from what my mother said on the phone during the welcome banquet and the unpleasant things, I haven't offended you. Don't you think what you've done to me is too much? Devin, do you really not know where you went wrong? I smiled faintly, my mockery sincere. He was a bit flustered, but he still said in a deep voice, I heard that you said I ignore the weak and look down on women. I admit that I have a bit of that. But I don't think it's a big deal. Many people have such problems. But there's no reason for you to slander me like this. Fine. I thought it was necessary to give him a lesson in ideological education. Then let me ask you. You made it known to everyone that you like me. But I was the only one who didn't know. At the welcome banquet when I came back, everyone looked at me like that, obviously thinking that I was enjoying your pursuit and not giving you a response, that I was deliberately leading you on. I'd like to ask, who gave them this illusion? Was it you or me? Devin's face turned pale, but he still tried to defend himself forcefully. I didn't make them think that way. They saw it for themselves. Then why didn't I see it? You didn't dare to show your true feelings in front of me, hiding your emotions completely. But among our mutual friends, you were bold and unrestrained, like a flood bursting its banks, showing all your feelings for me to others. Isn't it that you deliberately and maliciously guided them to make them think that you were deeply in love and that I was ungrateful? I'm sorry, but I didn't think that way. You may not have thought about it, but you did it. I launched into a fierce rebuke. Devin was extremely embarrassed. Since we're talking about it, let's make it clear. What else did I do to offend you? What about the substitute? What's the deal with finding someone who looks like me? And what's the deal with treating her like a nanny? Since you couldn't pull me down from the pedestal, you found a substitute to abuse. Are you abusing her or me? Devin, you make me feel disgusted. My eyes were cold, and my loathing was hard to hide. Devin's lips turned pale. I wouldn't do such a thing to you. You're different to me. You haven't done it to me yet. Not because you don't want to, but because you don't have the ability. I'm the daughter of the Francis family. I'm rich, good-looking, capable, and have a powerful backer. If one day I'm down and out and ask you for help, I'm sure that not only will you not help me, but you'll also abuse me in the same way. What men like to do most is to drag decent women into the mud and persuade prostitutes to reform. Destroying beautiful things into something you can trample on at will is the inherent vice in your bones. Do you dare to say that you didn't get a sense of pleasure from abusing Jamie? Do you dare to admit it? Devin was stunned and didn't speak. Obviously, he was reflecting on himself. I waited for him to think slowly. After a long time, there was a struggle in his eyes. No matter what you think, I did really like you once. I also thought about doing something for you, but I felt that I wasn't worthy, so I didn't take any action. I sneered. He's really despicable. He regards women stronger than him as saints and talks grandly about them. He regards women weaker than him as whores and insults them wantonly. Did he not take action because he didn't want to? It's because chasing me would require him to offer most of the Egbert family's wealth to possibly get me to look back at him. But chasing Jamie only cost $100,000. And he didn't have to invest any feelings, time, or energy to get full emotional value. He's really shrewd in this regard. But I didn't want to delve too deeply into this issue with him. I wanted to control the rhythm and lead him to the topic I wanted to talk about. Okay, even if it's true that you liked me, then let me ask you, with a family like yours, how dare you have thoughts about me? What's wrong with my family? He still protected his parents very much. When he heard me say that, he got anxious, but I just looked at him with mockery on my face, and he immediately turned cold and wilted. I said indifferently, I heard that your sister's divorce lawsuit has been going on for so long. With the large family business of the Egbert family, can't you afford a divorce lawsuit? At that time, didn't you, Devin, suck enough blood from your sister? Were you going to suck her dry until she died before you were satisfied? Don't talk nonsense. My sister still has feelings for my brother-in-law. Devin rebuked. I slapped him hard. How does it feel? He looked at me in shock, and then his eyes darkened, full of anger. Do you still like me? I taunted. He didn't say anything. I continued. Devin, your feelings for me are so fake. I just slapped you, and you have no feelings for me anymore. Your sister has been subjected to domestic violence so many times. Why do you think they still have feelings? Or are you people of the Egbert family born despicable? And no matter how much you're beaten, you still have feelings for the other person. Then you shouldn't resent me either. Let me try slapping you again. I raised my hand to hit him, but he grabbed my wrist, fuming with anger. Anna, enough is enough. I looked at him with a faint smile. Devin, admit it. You're just a vampire sucking blood from your sister. Your Egbert family is the kind that sells daughters for resources. As long as there's money, you people of the Egbert family can be beaten at will. What right do you have to act high and mighty with a family that can sell its self-esteem for money? You act like you're really a wealthy family, but you probably don't know that your family has become a joke in the circle. I stood up and left gracefully. Jamie and I had walked a long way when we saw that he was still sitting in his seat, holding his hair, and looking full of worries. A month later, Margaret successfully got a divorce and obtained custody of May. She went through the procedures to go abroad as quickly as possible and planned never to come back. Before getting on the plane, she sent me a long message to express her gratitude. I'm sorry that I can't thank you in person. Now they're all watching me. Getting too close to you will affect you. But I really thank you. You're the savior of me and May. You may not know that if you hadn't helped me that day, I was going to jump off a building with May. You gave me the courage to live. When you asked me that day why I didn't want to live anymore, I think it was probably because I saw that you helped Jamie win the lawsuit. During that time, my parents were cursing you every day, but I was very excited. I thought that I could finally find someone who could restrain them. I thought that since you could help Jamie, you would surely help me too. I won the bet. Anna, thank you. You made me feel that I should stand up. Not only for myself but also for May. You're my role model. And I also want to be a role model for my daughter. I'm leaving here and will never come back. I'll also stop using this phone. But I'll tell May what you've done for us. Besides, I hired someone to beat Devin up, which can be considered as venting my anger for the past me. Jamie, and you. Goodbye, Anna. I wish you all the best forever. May we all be well. I looked out the window, feeling extremely happy. Thinking of the way Devin raged out of impotence after being beaten, I laughed even more heartily. Most importantly, after Margaret got a divorce, her ex-husband withdrew his investment from the Egbert family, and the Egbert family is now on the decline. This is a good start, and it's what I deserve. A year later, Jamie and I attended Kate's wedding. She married her childhood friend, and the two of them smiled sweetly at the wedding. At the wedding banquet, I saw Devin. I asked Kate if she had broken off her friendship with Devin. Why did she still invite him? Kate smiled and said, I want him to see how well I'm married, so that he won't always think that all women in the world should revolve around him. Did you see that? How down and out he is now. He's not as excellent as I imagined. He always relied on his sister and his family. Look, after his sister left, he doesn't have a lot of money to squander. I heard that the Egbert family is almost finished now. I took a distant look at Devin. When he saw me, he nodded politely and then looked away. Soon, he left quietly, which was completely different from his arrogant appearance in the past when he was the center of attention. Money is a person's courage, and it has always been like this since ancient times. So, I need to hold on to my career even more tightly. After the wedding ended, we left. Jamie asked me where we were going. I said we were going back to the company. She let out a groan. You're a capitalist, and you're still working so hard. Do you want to leave any chance for others? I smiled and said, I heard that you bought a house. Have you paid off the mortgage? Jamie. At this time, Devin finally came to his senses and found that he liked the substitute. She obediently got in the car and worked overtime with me. When we got off work, she took my arm and suddenly said, Anna, thank you. I smiled. When I got home, I received a message from her on my phone. Good night, my light. There is a sentence in Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. If I had never seen the sun, I could have endured the darkness. I think I'm her light. I illuminated her darkness. And what I need to do is to continue to be a beam of light, not only to illuminate others but also to illuminate the path under my own feet. The end of the full text.